distributed, or transmitted in any form or by any means, including photocopying, recording, or other electronic or mechanical methods without the prior written permission of Anguiano Consulting, Inc. This presentation is being recorded for training purposes. Guys, grateful to have you join us on today's super important topic. We are so thankful for every single one of you. We ask that you please mute yourself, that you zoom in, that you are laser focused so you can capture all of the content Team Anguiano has put together for you. Today, with technology, we can all do amazing things. We can recruit more efficiently and give exposure to our business to a lot more people. We can double or triple our business. We can add different revenue streams that create and build cash as we sleep, or as we also know it, on autopilot. In the right hands, technology delivers so much valuable information and reaches a ton more people super fast. Technology in the wrong hands is allowing the small percentage of malicious people negatively impact thousands of small businesses. And it's allowing them to get away with hundreds of thousands of hard-earned dollars. Scammers are getting smarter every day. If you receive an unexpected call from your financial institution, utility company, your healthcare provider, the IRS, your mortgage company, your payroll company, the Social Security Administration, the CIA, DEA, DMV, any government agency or vendor, hang up and call the number that is on your bill or on their main website. If you remain on the line or stay on the call with them, they have figured us out. They are prepared to make it convenient and provide you with an 800 number, a case number, a reference number, a badge number, a department number, an employee number. During their 2 to 4 hour game, that 800 number will work. They have figured out how to play the known music that we're aware of with these agencies. Always hang up and call your own known number or Google the number. Do not provide any information on that initial call. Valid vendors, government agencies will never pressure you for payment or information on the spot. As I go through my story, keep in mind during the 4-hour scam, towards the end, it felt as if they were holding a gun to my head. And they knew every move that I was making. That's how well they got into my head. Keep in mind, my gut feeling all along insisted something was not right. After, I was emotional. I was embarrassed. How did I allow this to happen to me? I was super pissed. I had to share my story, and I did, with my family. I shared it with my team. The association that I meet with every Tuesday, I shared it with them. And I'm now sharing it with you. And every time someone in the group would say, that would never happen to me, they would say, I actually mess with them when they call me. And they would say, no government will ever call and ask you for money. Now, after I sat down and I recapped my story, right, I myself saw 50,000 red flags. My gut feeling was correct all along during that whole 4-hour ordeal. It's not until you experience it that you will know they are experts. And they are experts at utilizing the 1 or 2 things they know about you on your account that will make you fall in as a victim. A year ago, our office received a call from SCE, our utility company, claiming our lights were going to be shut off within 45 minutes. Middle of the day, 24 stations actively running. Maria was training, I was training, fast pace, lots going on, just like you guys have every single day. They gave me an amount. They told me B of A made a mistake of processing my payment of $742.30 as $7,423. So SCE rejected payment, and we should see credits pending on our B of A. Two things they mentioned matched. The payment pending on B of A didn't. So we insisted to speak to a supervisor. They transferred us, gave us a reference number, gave us an 800 number. The supervisor who took the call sounded exactly the same as the person I talked to previous. I expressed it to them. They continued pressuring me with everything. I said, you know what? What do I need to do to take care of this so I can just move on with my day? They walked me step by step. They gave me an address of where I could go make a payment. It ended up being a Walgreens. They walked me to the aisle where the green money card was. They stayed on the phone with me until I provided the number on the back of that card. In total, the scam that happened to me was only $1,000. It was going to be $1,500. That's when I realized it. No biggie. It's not a lot of money, but the emotional impact and the way they got into my head, the 22 pressured calls within minutes apart from each other, the feeling of being monitored and watched and pressured is what freaked me out. As I made the first 500, they instructed me to, and they gave me confirmation. I actually got an email from them, and they told me, check your cell phone. We sent you an email confirming the $500 payment. I was driving back to the office when that happened, so I did, and I saw it. But it wasn't until I actually expanded, and this was after I made the second 500, I expanded the email where I noticed that it was an invalid email address. It had SCE, but the extension of that email was not them. At the time of driving, though, you don't think about it, right? We shouldn't even be seeing our email or looking at our phone. But it was when I got behind my desk again where I actually discovered that. I ended up calling SCE right away, and I did end up reporting it to the police. I submitted a claim to SCE. They classified it as a scam. There was nothing they can do because I took the action. Now, when you're there right this moment, guys, listening to this story, it is ridiculous. It is crazy. When you're 100% listening, no pressure, you're calm, the stories sound ridiculous. As I was telling SCE that day, my story, I actually myself told myself, this is ridiculous. How did I allow this to happen to me? So please do not make the mistake of thinking this will never happen. These malicious people use fear, pressure, emotional tactics. They also know something about you or your account. Their goal is to build trust within seconds. They have insiders also helping with these scams. And the reason I say that is my SCE account, what they discovered was there was a second email, an email that I don't know, and I never got alerted that a second email was added. So to me, I conclude there was an insider providing this info to the scammers. So today, guys, awareness is our goal. I'm going to give you another true story. This one was recorded recently, and really pay attention to this because, again, we feel like it's a ridiculous story. Recently, 37 days ago, a client got scammed for $12,600 within a 4-hour process. The client realized that it was a scam when they dialed back the 800 number that was provided on that call. When it was dialed, that number was disconnected. So listen carefully to this story.
What happened?
Okay. So yesterday at 12:30, I was in the field. I got a call from a number in Texas from somebody claiming to be an agent from the Social Security Administration. They said that I was being considered to be basically pressed for charges for criminal allegations that were happening on my accounts. They asked if I had recently been to Texas. They said that my identity had been stolen and had been used to open up 20 accounts nationally and internationally. These were accounts being used for money laundering. They said they found a vehicle registered in my name that had like blood in the car. There was 22 pounds of cocaine. They said that there were other criminal activities that were being associated with my name, and this was a federal investigation. And they realized that this was a case of identity theft, so they wanted to call and basically confirm that I was not linked to this criminal investigation. And then they also said that because my business account had been associated with these other illegal accounts, that they were going to have the government freeze all of them. And they realized that that would affect my personal account. So they wanted to basically separate my account from all of these other accounts. And that's when they asked for they didn't ask for my account information, but they said that this was going to be a recording. It was going to be presented before the federal government for a criminal case. I had to keep everything private, and so I couldn't like let anybody know what was going on. I had to stay on the line, and it was a recording that they would use in a case to present that I was not associated with this criminal activity. And they said that they would either freeze my accounts or they could basically withdraw the money, put it in a security box with the U.S. Treasury, and then they would release it after 24 hours so they could separate it from the illegal activity essentially. They gave me badge ID numbers. They told me where they were calling from. They said they were part of the U.S. Treasury. They supposedly linked me with a DEA agent who confirmed my case ID number, confirmed the allegations, and said I have to comply with the federal government to make sure that these accusations were false against me. So from there, they explained the process of taking out the money in a way that would not be associated with my Social Security, which was in the form of these withdrawals and putting this money on gift cards. They knew my location. They pulled up all these different stores around me. They had me go to the store. I had to stay on the line. They said I was recorded. I got disconnected a couple times. They immediately called me back and they said that I would be considered guilty of these charges if I didn't stay on the line and keep this recording open, because they said I would violate the Privacy Act, and it was a federal investigation, so I wasn't allowed to verbally say anything that was going on, basically, because that would be on a recording that they would present in the case against me, and I would be held responsible for this criminal activity. So I had to stay on this phone while I went to these stores, withdrew the cash. They prompted me what to say to the people when I went in. They're like, it's standard protocol for people to ask if you're being scammed. This is a federal investigation, so you can't tell them what you're doing this for. Just say you're getting it out as a gift for a family member and give us the information. When I gave them the information, they gave me back a transaction ID saying, here's where your money is, so it's safe. We'll give it back to you in the 24 hours. You're going to meet with a federal agent later today or tomorrow morning. They're going to issue you a new Social Security and new information. So the process took about 4 or 5 hours as I went to withdraw the money or buy the Apple gift cards, and then I withdrew a cash amount, which they then received that cash in the form of gift cards, which I went to 2 other stores, a Target and a Nordstrom for.
Did they direct you to these stores? Like, did they say, my whole thing is like they knew exactly the aisle in the store where the cards were. They'll go to aisle 3, it'll be on the face of that aisle.
Not quite that specific, but they had the store address. They said, okay, you're going to go into the store, you're going to find this gift card, and you're going to go up and they're going to ask you this question. This is what you have to tell them. And then, purchase this gift card with that cash. And they said, before I go into the store, I had to count out the exact cash so it didn't look suspicious. They said if somebody asked me questions, I was on a recording and I had to prompt that it was a family medical emergency. I thought this was really suspicious, so I was like, hey, look, like, I need some more reassurance here. What department are you working for? Like, how can you confirm this? So they gave me their badge ID numbers. They gave me the department they worked for, this whole spiel. They like prompted me for everything. So every time I got disconnected, they would call me again and give me this whole, like, scare me into saying that I was going to be charged for these criminal activities for disrupting this privacy law and getting disconnected. And so it was like very intense every time. And I kept saying, like, hey, I'm really not comfortable with this. And they kept pressuring me to go in, to stay calm. And I was like, what if people aren't buying it? They're like, you have to stress that this is a really serious medical emergency with your family. I was like, hey, my business accounts are going to get alerts. Like, I can't just take all this money out. And he was like, you have to talk to your boss, you have to talk to your consultants, stay on the line, but you have to tell them that you need to leave work immediately. You have to tell them it's a medical emergency. Tell them that you'll get the money to them the next day. We'll transfer it all back into your account within 24 hours. Like, basically, they were telling me what to say if anybody was asking me questions the entire time.
So ridiculous story, right? But it's happening, guys, to a lot of us. Now, you'll notice on the screen the types of scams. There's a whole bunch more. I'm just going to quickly run through some of these so you guys are well aware. Phishing, and it's not important for you guys to memorize the names of these, but these are the different ones that are very common. So phishing is a phone call where the scammers pretend to be from your bank or a government agency. And then during the phone call, the fraudster will attempt to get you to reveal your personal details. Phishing is an email scam, and I will show you a couple of examples in a second. But I'll go through the definitions first really quick. So it's an email scam where you appear to get a message from a legitimate source, such as the bank, the IRS, PayPal, Apple, or Amazon. So very common, stores or vendors that we're dealing with today. The message will encourage you to click on a link and log into your account, normally by telling your account has been locked or there is a large transfer of money. In reality, the link the link in the email goes to a fake website which collects your information. And then another version of the same scam is the fact that it is a link, and if you click it, I'll show you a little sample here on the right. This is what would happen, a little illustration, that if you click it and it contains a virus, anything else that is linked to that specific device, the virus would spread to the other devices. Smishing is text message-based scam. Scammers will contact you claiming to be from your bank, saying you need to update your personal details or there is some kind of issue with your account. The text might contain a link or a phone number to call. The phone number is fake. When you call, the fraudster will attempt to get you to reveal your details. Remember, I mentioned they have also figured all the US agencies and banks, the little music at times that plays at the beginning when you call an 800 number, they have those recordings to play to make it more realistic. Farming, similar to phishing, but instead of sending you an email directly, the scammers target the website you are visiting. You type in the correct website address, but you then get directed to a fake version. So they have learned how to make Chase Bank or Bank of America or Sprint or Verizon look identical to the real thing. Business scams, pretty much it's targeting the business versus individual accounts. Safe account scams is pretty much the story you heard from our client. So that is what a safe account scam is. And then computer software is the example that I gave you, where the virus pretty much spreads immediately to your other connected devices. Here are other type of scams. We won't get into those, but just know that there are thousands, and all we have to do is really be aware, become aware. If your gut feeling is telling you something, listen to it. That is the best thing you can do. Scam indicators. Here's some of the ones I talked about. You'll notice here, it is my name, but nowhere close to my email. It is not my signature. And what they type on the body is actually like, it is something so common that, yeah, my team member Therese, I would instruct her to do something. So, you know, pay close attention to every email. We're going so fast throughout our day that sometimes we just click, 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 reply, and we shouldn't even be touching these. We should be deleting and then deleting from our recycling bin. Here's another sample here. This one is sent to one of our team members, and they're asking us to click. Now again, this would be something red flag, like our team members are well aware of these indicators, and we share them like crazy with the team the moment we have it. And also we have taken the step of also sharing with the owners when those indicators come our way. Here's another one where I'm assuming a ton of us receive this type of message, right? Malware and so forth, and they threaten you with fear of like, hey, we've been watching you, right? So scam indicators. Here's a very valid company. We all know who Microsoft is, but look at the email, the extension of the email. Red flags right away. Do not confirm, do not click on anything, because that is a malicious email. Here's a couple other, this is Chase Bank. Look at the extension of the email. It says info@caias.com. That's not Chase Bank, that is invalid. Look at them wanting us to click on different links. Be smart about each email you guys are actually receiving and clicking on. Like, again, utilize your delete button as often as you need when it is a suspicious email, and don't let it sit in your recycling. If you do happen to run into a scenario like my story or our client's story, know that you can immediately report scams on this website. On top of that, if you actually visit this website, you can today go in there and it can actually identify what is happening right now in your area, so you can actually be more aware and more alert. Also, if you happen to run into a scam or fraud, always report it to the police. Make sure you file a report. Focus on recovering emotionally. It took me a long time to recover because I was totally in shock of what had happened in that 4-hour period. And then don't forget, share it with everybody you know, from your team members to your family, your kids, friends, because if it happened to you, it can happen to them. What do you do if you are a victim of fraud? Like I mentioned, connect with your bank, right? And immediately make sure that you change passwords. Do not wait a second to do any of this. This is 911.